The hash rate of Bitcoin has reached a record high, demonstrating the strength of the network like never before, just in time for the much-awaited halving next year. According to data from blockchain.com, the overall Bitcoin hash rate reached 491 exahashes per second on Wednesday. This indicates that 491 quintillion hash computations are performed every second by mining computers all across the world that protect the Bitcoin network. The term hash rate describes the quantity of processing power used in a second. It is harder for attackers to seize control of more than 50% of the Bitcoin network the more processing power that is being used. Additionally, it indicates that more mining is taking place on the network as miners grow their businesses and add more equipment in an effort to maximize their profits. The process of converting data into a fixed-length string of characters is known as hash calculations or hashing. On the Bitcoin network, it is necessary to generate private keys in order for users to conduct transactions. However, in anticipation of the upcoming halving event, which occurs every 4 years and reduces the amount of Bitcoin awarded to miners by half, miners are purchasing more powerful equipment, increasing the hash rate. The forthcoming April Bitcoin halving, which will mark the fourth such event since the cryptocurrency network's founding in 2008, is widely seen as a bullish sign for the market. This is due to the fact that the Bitcoin protocol's intrinsic reward halving serves to limit the inflation of BTC. Every 4 years, the amount of new Bitcoin that can be issued is halved, which lowers the amount of BTC that miners can dump into the market, and if past performances is any guide, increases demand for the BTC that is already there. Just over 19.5 million of the 21 million coins that make up the fixed supply of Bitcoin are in use at the moment.
Binance's former CEO Changpeng Zhao may have received a reprieve in an ongoing tussle with US authorities, but the prospect of him staying free for too long hangs in the balance. There is growing demand from federal officials against CZ being allowed to leave the US shore. This exigency comes ahead of his February sentencing on one charge of violating the Bank Secrecy Act. Federal Reserve prosecutors said in a court filing on Wednesday. Zhao pleaded guilty and resigned from the crypto exchange he founded on Tuesday, alongside Binance pleading guilty to multiple criminal and civil charges tied to its allowing US users and users from sanctioned regions to use the platform without adequate Know Your Customer and anti-money laundering programs. Binance agreed to pay $4.3 billion in penalties, among the largest corporate fines in the history of the US Department of Justice. In Wednesday's filing, prosecutors said Zhao, as a citizen of the United Arab Emirates, had minimal ties to the US and may not return or should be allowed to leave. Under the terms of his current bond agreement, Zhao can leave the US, having put to $15 million in a trust account, signed a $175 million personal recognizance bond, and found guarantors putting up additional funds. Zhao is wealthy enough, prosecutors said, adding that he could pay off the rest of the funds without an issue and may not return to the US. There also isn't an extradition treaty between the UAE and the US. Zhao is currently in the US until at least November 27th. If District Judge Richard Jones chooses not to review the DOJ filing by 5 p.m. Pacific time on that day, Zhao will be free to return to the UAE but must come back to the US by February 10th.
Sam Bankman-Fried, the creator of FTX and a convicted fraudster, will remain behind bars after his legal team was unable to persuade an appeals court in the United States to grant him release while he challenged his conviction. The US Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit stated in a mandate date November 21st that Bankman-Fried's prior attempts to influence two witnesses while under pre-trial releases was a significant factor in its decision to deny his request. We have reviewed the defendant appellant's additional arguments and find them unpersuasive. The court said Bankman-Fried's bail was revoked by the New York District Court after he has charged by government prosecutors with leaking Caroline Ellison's diaries to the New York Times in July. According to Bankman-Fried, the New York court disregarded his claim that he has exercising First Amendment protected free speech. But the appellate court maintained that witness tampering falls outside the zone of constitutional protection and that the New York District Court made the right decision. On November 2nd, Bankman-Fried was convicted guilty of 7 counts connected to money laundering and fraud. The former CEO of FTX will stay in jail until its sentence on March 28th of the following year. That's all in this special segment. For more such updates, watch 3.tv or log on to our website www.3versetv.io or scan the QR code. Thank you.